Hello, and welcome to my living room. Oh, just a nice afternoon to relax. And what do I have here? One of my favorite things in the whole world for relaxing. Biscotti dunked in tea. Mmm. Mmm. Nice almond biscotti. Biscotti? Well, it's a twice-baked Italian cookie, and I am going to show you today how very easy it is to make. So, although I have to get off my couch for a little bit, why don't you follow me into my kitchen and I'll show you how to make biscotti. All right, biscotti just means biscuit in Italian. And I'm going to start right now with my almonds, because the first thing you want to do when you're making any kind of a cookie with nuts is you want to toast the nuts. It just makes them crunchier and really brings out the flavor. So I am using almonds in this biscotti, and I'm going to use a cup. Now, almonds are very good for you because they contain, I think with a handful, 35% of your vitamin E for the day, and they're loaded with antioxidants. So another good reason to be eating almonds. So let me start with the almonds. And I love this recipe because this recipe, I'm going to show you the very basic one. It is just so versatile. You want to sub walnuts or pistachios or anything for the nuts, you just do the same thing, okay? I'm going to spread them out on my baking sheet. And, I actually wanted to show you, I've got a silicone baking sheet, which I'll pull this up after and show it to you. But I love these silicone baking sheets because you just wash them, you can reuse them, they're grease-proof, they're awesome. So that's what I've got on my cookie sheet here today. Now, I'm going to toast I've got my oven set for 350 degrees. I'm going to toast these anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. Just keep an eye on them, and when they start to smell nutty, that's when they're done. So I'm going to time this initially for 6 minutes and show you what they should look like. They should be light brown, okay? So let's go over to my oven. Just going to place the nuts in here. And you know me, always timing, so 6 minutes. There we go. Okay, in the meantime, we're going to start putting our dry ingredients together. Okay, so I'm going to put in start with 2.5 cups of flour. I'll tell you, you're not going to believe it once you see how easy this recipe is. And they get a ton of money for biscotti, don't they? You go up to Federal Hill or whatever, not that, it's not good, and I do purchase it up there occasionally, but, it comes out to like $10 a pound. And a lot of people think it's a lot of work, and it's not. So there we go. 2.5 cups of flour. I'm going to have 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Half teaspoon of salt. I'm going to mix this together with a wire whip. I always like mixing my dry ingredients with this. All right, that's about it. Dry ingredients done, we'll put that aside. Okay, next I'm going to bring over my large bowl and my mixer. There we go. go. All right, you're going to start with 2 eggs in the mixer bowl. Drop the 2 eggs in. Okay, get a paper towel for my hands. Let me lift up my mixer. Plug this in first. That might be helpful, huh? Okay. I'm going to put this on the base. I'm going to start my mixer, and we're going to beat about 2 minutes until they're light colored and a little bit fluffy. I'll show you what that looks like. All right, now this has been about 2 minutes. And see what the egg should look like? Just nice and thick and light colored. That's it. Okay, oh, my timer's going off for my toasted almonds. So let me go over here. Now that's the nice light brown color they should be. You can actually even toast them a little bit more if you'd like. Okay, I'm going to leave these on the stove top to cool while we continue with our recipe. You know, the nice thing about learning how to make biscotti too, no matter what recipe you end up making, I'm teaching you the method today, which is basically the same for all biscotti recipes, how to form it, cut it, and that sort of thing. So you will have a multitude of different recipes you can experiment with after you learn how to make it, after you learn the technique. And that's really what cooking and baking is all about, a technique. So let me add my sugar now. Keep mixing it here. Just a cup of sugar. I like this recipe because it's got a lower amount of sugar than some. Some will have up to 2 cups of sugar. Now, if you find this isn't sweet enough, you can actually even add another ½ cup of sugar or a ½ cup of brown sugar to give it a little bit more flavor. Okay, so that's all we've done, just mix in the sugar. Okay, now we're going to add our oil next. ½ cup of vegetable oil. Let me measure that. I love my cups here where it's on the inside also. So we're going to add, let me pull this up so you can see better. Here we go with the ½ cup of oil. Can you sub butter? Sure you can, and I'm going to show you at the end of the program. I made this same recipe subbing butter in for the oil. Again, give it a little bit different texture, a little different flavor, but this is good with the oil too. Now you want to put your flavoring in. So we're going to add 2 teaspoons of almond extract. If you want to add vanilla, vanilla. Anise, anise. This is another great thing about biscotti. Experiment with the flavors, okay? Orange, there's orange extracts, everything. So here we go. Let's do 2 teaspoons. Just about 2. Got to get some more almond extract, and I love that. I use it a lot. Now we're just going to whip that in till it's incorporated. 20-30 seconds, that's it. And then we're going to add our flour. Okay, shut it off once. Just mix it, pull this stuff up from the bottom. Okay. Mix it a little bit more. Now I'm going to add my flour in halves. So here we go. You know what? I'm going to keep the mixer on. Why don't we just do this slow? Now, can you do this with a hand mixer? Sure, if you have a strong enough hand mixer, which I think most of your basic hand mixers today are probably powerful enough for this. The batter is going to be somewhat sticky, and I'm going to show you how you're going to get around that. Here, let me turn that down a little. There we go. Let that go a little. Oh, yeah. And believe it or not, we're just about done. Yeah, can you believe that? Here we go. Oh, yeah. I can smell the almond. All right, done. Now I'm just going to mix the almonds in. I'm just going to lift this sheet up. Dump them in. Again, let them cool slightly or cool all the way. You can even do the nuts the night before. Here, let me do this. This is kind of stiff. Take this off. Oh yeah, see how nice and thick that is? Just folding the nuts in. All right, your batter's done. Now we're just going to form it. Done with the mixing part, so let me clean this up, and I'll be right back to show you how to form this into logs. Hi, I'm back, and I just wanted to, again, go over this silicone baking sheet one more time now that you can see the whole thing. And these are washable, and what I do is just put it in the sink, wash it with some soapy water, and to dry it out, you can lay it flat on the, in a cold oven on the racks in there, okay? That's the easiest thing to do, or just, you know, in your dish pan. So, and you just let them air dry, that's it. So, okay. Now I've got my water here, a little bit of a trick to prevent this from sticking, because this dough is very sticky. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit on my plate here, and then I'm going to put some on my hands and rub some water on this silicone sheet, okay? And this will just prevent it from sticking a little bit, okay? It's still going to be somewhat sticky, so don't worry about that. Now we're going to divide this dough in half so we can form a couple of logs. And again, it doesn't have to be exact. Look at that. Oh boy, that came out nice. Yeah. This is like working with silly putty, isn't it? Yeah. You know, I love baking. I love baking so much. To me, it's very relaxing. And a recipe like this that is really kind of foolproof, you know, you don't have to worry about if you mix it a little too much or, you know, too little by a small amount, because it's still going to be all good. All right, now. Let me put that aside. And again, yeah, I'm just going to form it so I can pretty much just cut it in half. And again, it doesn't have to be exact. All right. Put some more water on my hands so I can form these. Let me pull up one half of it. I'm going to start a log right here. And I'll go slow so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, that's one. And then the other is going to be a couple inches from the first. And then I love these large cookie sheets too with the sides. This is perfect for cookies, biscotti, anything like that. Look at that, already we're just about done. Okay, so let me put them like this. And then just look at, see what I'm doing? Just kind of form them into logs. Push it down. And what I'm going to do is go like to where the white border is here. And again, on my website, I'll put down, if you want dimensions, I can give you that. But I'm going to say these are probably a couple inches across, and I think 15 inches long. So, but don't worry about it. This doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to see that shortly. Another thing I'd want to point out too, some of the recipes that you'll be looking at, some will say divide into 3 to 5 logs. That's fine. The only thing that that's going to do is make your biscotti shorter and smaller. So whatever, 3 to 5 logs. Same type of thing, because most of the recipes I looked at with biscotti were all about the same ingredients, the same amounts of ingredients, like 2.5 cups of flour, 1 to 2 cups of sugar. There we go. And you know, a lot of them, they varied. Like I said, dividing between 2 logs and 5. These are going to make long pieces, so there we go. There, that's it. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. And let me again rinse my hands off. Going to put these in the oven for the first bake, 15 minutes. Going to turn it so that the front goes to the back. Another 15 minutes till they're browned and puffed. So into the oven they go for the first bake. Okay, as you can hear, my timer is going off. All right. Let me take this out of the oven. And again, just to evenly cook the biscotti, I just turn it around front to back. And as you can see right now, look at how it's getting puffed, okay? So just bring the front to the back and the back to the front, put it back in 15 minutes, and I'll see you back here. 30 minutes has elapsed now from when we first put our biscotti in, and here we go. We are done with the baking, initial baking. Okay, that's the first bake. I'm going to turn my temp down to 325 degrees. I'm going to pull my biscotti out. Oh, look at this. Puffed and lightly browned. And I'm going to leave this on top of the stove for 10 minutes. That's all you want to do. Let them cool 10 minutes. Then we're going to do the second bake and done. And you'll see how effortless that is. Okay? All right. 10 minutes has elapsed. And now this is, our biscotti has cooled slightly, so you can cut it. So I'm going to bring it over here. And again, just run a spatula underneath. And here you go with a log. Take a knife, a serrated knife, or otherwise another one might work too, but I always use the serrated. And now what you're going to do is cut on the diagonal all the way down. And you know what? I'm going to use the same pan. Because now the second bake, and you know what? Don't even worry about that. So leave that there. That's not going to affect anything. And I'm going to cut these on the diagonal, and this is going to be the second bake, and then you are done. Just want to show you what I'm doing here. If you want to make them thicker, make them thicker. Thinner, thinner. As I mentioned earlier, if you're making them, if you want to make smaller pieces of the biscotti, like half that, just make this into 3 logs, okay? And then again, you'll need a second pan, and just again, alternate them in the oven halfway through the first bake time. Okay, so we'll keep going with this. See how easy this is? This is fun, and it's just foolproof. And just so many people, when I tell them, oh my goodness, I make biscotti a lot, and they're like, really? Oh, that must be hard. As you can see, it's so easy to do. Cost effective. You put this in the airtight container. These will last a couple of months, believe me. So this recipe will make 2 to 3 dozen, depending on how thin you slice them, but again, on the diagonal. And I just tip them on this side because I get more on the pan. You don't even have to turn them. Some recipes will tell you to turn them. I never have, and they've always come out fine because all you're doing now is just drying them out. Doesn't that look great? You're going to impress people with these. I remember I made actually peanut butter and chocolate chip one at one of my parties, and people were like, Linda, did you make these? And I was like, yeah, biscotti. Again, right here. See where it's thinner down here? Again, if you had the smaller lugs, these are the size pieces you'll end up with. So experiment. You can't mess this up. And all you're doing with the first bake is just making them stable enough to cut them. That's it. There. I love these little end pieces, so just throw them in there. And again, I've lowered my oven to 325. If you forget to do that, don't worry about it. It's not really going to affect them that much. Again, diagonal. Oh yeah, these are going to be nice and crunchy. And again, I'll fit them all on the same pan. Okay, we're going back in the oven with this at 325 for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, shut your oven off and leave them in another 20 minutes to dry out. That's all you're doing, drying them out so they're nice and dense and crunchy, and you will be good to go. Okay, these are the ones I baked earlier. And let me show you how crunchy and dense they are. And this is also what makes them different from the ones you purchase at the supermarket. They're nice and dense and dunkable. There we go, nice. Oh, did you hear that? Nice and crunchy. All right, now I'm going to show you how you can dress them up a little bit more. Earlier, I broke up some bittersweet chocolate in a dish, and then I melted it in the microwave. And here we go with some bittersweet chocolate. Don't have to add anything to it. Get any kind of bittersweet chocolate bar. And let me grab a wax paper lined sheet, plate, anything you want to use. Okay, you take one of the biscotti. Just a nice dish like this works good. Glad it's more like a bowl, but oh, look at this. And anybody that's seen me on previous shows know that I love chocolate. Just put them flat on the wax paper. And again, just dip. Oh, does that look like you could swim in it? I think so. Flat down. Let's do a third one. Just dunk. Oh yeah. Oh, we'll leave a little extra on that one, huh? Okay, you do them like that if you want, and put them in the refrigerator till they set, which will take 10 or 15 minutes. And I've done some of these earlier. And after about 15 minutes, look at, they'll lift right off the wax paper. Is that beautiful or what? Now you've got chocolate dipped biscotti. Okay, so now I'm going to put together a couple of different types of biscotti I made, and I'll be right back. Look at our homemade biscotti. Does this look beautiful or what? And I'm just going to take a moment to talk about the store-bought biscotti. This is 2.5 times more expensive to purchase it in the store than it is to make your own. Okay, another good point to keep in mind. Also, this is very airy, and a good biscotti should be nice and dense. And if you do purchase it at a good bakery, it's going to cost you 5 times as much as it would to make it at home. And again, look at how professional and beautiful it comes out. You're really going to impress your friends with this. And also, here's the one we did with the oil, the very basic recipe that I just did. See how nice and light it is? This one I made earlier, and I subbed it with the oil with butter. Okay, I talked about that earlier in the program, and I also added another 1/2 cup of brown sugar to the recipe. So as you can see, they came out a little bit flatter and darker. So experiment. You know, it's going to have a different flavor than the oil, but you might like this more. Another thing you might want to do with this, I added cinnamon. So again, I will have these recipes on my website and some substitutions. So, and feel free to experiment. My friend Stella, around Christmas, she puts in pistachios and dried cranberries for the red and green colors for Christmas. So I thought that was a great idea. Okay, so there you go. I've got sundae glasses. Use your imagination. Here's a wine glass for our gorgeous chocolate dipped biscotti. And I really hope that I've convinced you to try making biscotti at home. Any questions, please contact me on my website, www.lindas-kitchen.com. And until I invite you into my kitchen again, just have fun baking. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to resume my relaxation on the couch with a nice cup of tea, some of my biscotti, and a good book.